This week outside the garage behind the Kawasaki there is a Toyota Camry hybrid. It's an XSE. I'm excited to tell you what kind of fuel economy I'm going to get on it. But I wouldn't hesitate for one moment if I was in the market to buy that car. It is a fantastic car. But Consumer Reports just came out with their reliability list for 2026. Should I be questioning Toyota's reliability, or are they the best in the world? So we're starting over at Consumer Reports, and we're going to have fun with this today. But actually, the majority of this video is going to be focusing on what Toyota just did for the month of January. And I know February is almost over, but they have posted an all-time sales record, worldwide sales, right here, including Lexus. This little dot indicates they've just broken an all-time sales record across the globe for the company for the month of January, being up 4.7%. You got to remember, last year they broke an all-time sales record for the entire year, and they're on pace to do it again. Before we get too deep into Toyota reliability and sales, I want to share today's sponsor, LastFit. I have put these LS Plus bulbs in my 2013 Sienna. Oh my gosh, what a night and day difference, as well as some of the other bulbs like the daytime running lights and the turn indicators. I have upgraded all of them, as well as the brake lights. It has completely renovated my vehicle. So check out LastFit, not only for bulbs, but they also have some of the best floor mats out there on the market. Let's just click Accurate. They're very affordable, much more affordable than what you would get from a dealership, and they are oftentimes much better with their coverage. All right, so check out their custom mats as well. Thank you for sponsoring me at LastFit, and let's get in today's news. Okay, who makes the most reliable cars? Well, last year it was Subaru. Last year, Subaru had the #1 spot, and many of you guys are like, still buy a Toyota in most cases. All right, so let's just pump this up. Toyota here in first place. They're always hovering around first place. If they're not first, they're within the top 5, always, at least with the Consumer Reports. Now, take this with a grain of salt. Consumer Reports doesn't really predict reliability that well. They have all these testimonies from car owners, and that's a good place to start. But if a customer is saying, oh, I have Bluetooth issues, or I have XYZ issues with the car, it doesn't mean that the car's not reliable. They just don't understand how to work that part of the car or that function of the car. All right. So I look at this as pure entertainment, but there is truth to some of this. Just take it with a grain of salt. And more importantly, if you're like, oh, every Toyota is reliable, they're #1 on Consumer Reports. No, I wouldn't buy a Tundra right now. In fact, I wouldn't buy any Toyota or Lexus that has the twin-turbo V6, hybrid or not. I just don't trust the thing, all right? With the recalls, the main bearing failures, etc. Okay, that's just me. So I wouldn't touch Toyota's largest vehicles with that twin-turbo V6. But a Camry hybrid, I wouldn't have any hesitation, for example, all right? Or a Lexus ES. Well, I will be driving the new Lexus ES, but that gives you an idea. Or Lexus IS has been proven to be extraordinarily reliable with the naturally aspirated 2GR V6. Just keep that in mind. Subaru #2, Lexus, of course, in the top 3 because it is a derivative of Toyota. Honda, BMW, Nissan, Acura, Buick. Tesla made it into the top 10. Buick, you might be saying, how's General Motors in the top 10? Most of the Buicks, well, previously they're one of them, I think the Envision, was made in China, but a lot of the Buicks are made in Korea. When General Motors bought out Daewoo all those decades ago, General Motors still has a manufacturing hub in South Korea. So that's why we see Buick here on the list. Tesla, let me know if you guys agree or disagree. I'm a little snobby because when I see them on the road, I'm always judging for their panel gaps. So that's just me, but I'm sure in some cases they're very reliable. I just don't have any personal evidence, and I don't have a big Tesla following on my channel. If you own a Tesla, let me know in the comments how your reliability has been. Kia, Hyundai are close to each other. That makes sense. Mazda down on the list quite a bit. That's surprising to me, but you got to keep in mind, the new CX-90 and the CX-70, with all new technology the past few years, they're still cutting their teeth on that new platform. They got some things to work out. I wouldn't hesitate buying a CX-5, CX-50, Mazda 3, a Miata, for example, maybe a CX-30. Those are all going to be pretty much bulletproof. Okay, so the brands that are the worst, Rivian, doesn't come as a surprise to me from the things I've heard. Ram, Jeep, Not a surprise to me is the things that are Chrysler's right in there, right? All those Stellantis products. There's a new Chrysler minivan refreshed coming out soon for the Pacifica. But all right, Genesis is really far down on the list. That's interesting. It could be due to their EVs. Hyundai is having a lot of problems with their EVs with the ICCU failures. Before I move on to the sales, how about this? Give me your top 3 reliable brands. All right, I'm curious. Do I think these 3 are the top 3 reliable? And BMW being in the top 5 is really impressive. You always say Nissan's reliability has improved a lot. I wouldn't touch any of their VC turbos. And that includes the Rogue I'm driving today. Okay, and I'm reviewing this week. I wouldn't touch it with the VC turbo unless I'm leasing. Leasing is a huge asterisk, but even then it can be burdensome if something were to fail on it while you have your lease. Anyways, let's keep moving. What are your top 3 in reliability that you personally believe? All right, let's pump up that spreadsheet size, ladies and gentlemen. Toyota has broken all-time sales record for January once again, up about 5% across the world. Sales inside of Japan are actually down 3%, outside of Japan up 6%. And we're going to break down which regions are seeing success. North America, holy smokes, 7.5% up for the month of January. Why? They say Corolla, Camry, TX, and Grand Highlander. Now, I've shown you guys the individual sales for the month of January already on Toyota for the United States. So check out that video. Mexico up 6%, Canada about a wash, USA up 8%, other places in North America up 15.9%. Now, February will be interesting for Mexico due to the cartel unrest down there. So like even production facilities for Honda, for example, have been put on hold. So it's not looking good. Latin America down 7%. Brazil getting hammered. They had a plant get hit with massive winds, almost like a tornado or something. And so they've lost their production down in Brazil, to my understanding. And that was late last year, something like that. And Brazil's getting massive Chinese influence, okay, with more Chinese cars. So Brazil's pretty much a lost market. You look at Argentina down 6%. Other parts in Latin America up 16%. Europe up 11% on the month. What's going on? Well, the UK, okay, up 12%. France up 5%. Italy up 21%. Germany down 12%. Germany's having an existential crisis with their automotive industry, with too much competition, mainly from the Chinese, undercutting them in price. Their Volkswagen and other manufacturers in Germany have been gutted. Okay, it's just too costly to build cars there. So their manufacturing industry is, it's on life support right now. It's really sad. Asia up 8%. China up 6.1%. They sold 145,000 units in the month of January in China versus 176,000 in the United States. Okay, so Toyota isn't as reliant on China as Nissan has been in the past, as Honda has been in the past. So they are just, man, they're high flying. Indonesia up 2%. Let's see here. Where are the big ones? Is this India? Yeah, 26%. This is where Toyota is going to continue to grow, continue to thrive, and expand their dominance. They have certain vehicles like their Urban Cruiser, Highrider, the Innova, Hi-Cross. This is just the beginning, guys. It's only a matter of time before India wakes up as an economic superpower. I might see it in my lifetime. All right, they just have so many people and so much industry going there. So this number in the past, and I love how they show like years past. So if we go back to 2017 and we just look at India, they weren't even selling cars in India in 2017. Even Korea is up, Vietnam, Pakistan. So Toyota's doing really well in Asia. Where are they struggling in Asia? Philippines, Taiwan, and Malaysia. Okay, I know Malaysia and probably Philippines as well. They have a lot of Chinese imports too at this point. So that is hurting them there. And Indonesia is getting a lot of Chinese cars too, but Toyota's still positive in that area. Toyota has fallen off a cliff in Australia. Not sure why. I do have Australian viewers. So if you guys let me know, is it Chinese cars that are hurting Toyota sales? Is it a lack of product? And is it maybe a lack of RAV4 sales hurting them in January? I'm not quite sure. But it's not looking good for Oceania, Australia, for Toyota. That's probably their weakest spot, alongside, I would say, Germany. But Germany is actually really low sales, so I take that back. Middle East, down 0.5%, but pretty much neutral. And we look at Africa, it's growing, but look at their Africa sales, only 22,000. All of Africa is 7,000 units less than what India is at this point, even though Toyota has been selling in Africa since the dawn of time. Sales of electrified vehicles, let's pump this up. This is always entertaining to me. Worldwide sales, hybrids are up 6%. Hybrids are down 12% in Japan, up 12% everywhere else. All right, let's go to plug-in hybrids. Now, this one is going to be pretty ugly. Sales inside of Japan up 15%. Don't know what they're selling. Maybe a lot of Prius plug-in hybrids. They also have, got to keep in mind, gosh, the Crowns have plug-in hybrids, like the Crown Estate, for example. You also have NX RX, but worldwide sales of plug-in hybrids are down a lot. This is temporary because lots of different factors. Okay, mainly it's down because the new RAV4 plug-in hybrid hasn't reached production yet. Okay, it has, well, should I say for the world? It has been launched inside of Japan, and maybe that's why these sales reflect that. I'm not quite sure, but they also have way more plug-in hybrids than most of the world. Like I said, throughout their Crown lineup, and maybe better availability for Prius plugins or Lexus plugins, because all of them are sourced from Japan still. Sales outside Japan, again, down a lot for plug-in hybrids, but this will reverse course here in the United States for sure, and likely other parts of the world, because the plug-in hybrids, well, e-revs are still growing in China. Plug-in hybrids will rebound when RAV4 plug-in hybrids become available with the new generation, but also the NX RX plug-in hybrids will be growing too, especially once North American production for those models comes online, because we have a new battery plant here in North Carolina. Okay, a fuel cell, it's just, look at this. They sold 113. Kill fuel cell. It's just a waste of research and development money at this point, fuel cells. Battery electric, 22,000 units, which is up 87%. You got to keep in mind the refreshed BZ and the refreshed RZ are now on the market in higher volume. And now we're having launches of the BZ4X Touring. We call that the BZ Woodland here in the United States, as well as the CHR or the CHR Plus in other markets. So BEVs are going to continue to really grow for them. You also got to keep in mind that they have their own unique subset of BEVs in China, like the BZ5, the BZ3X, the BZ3. I could keep going. So they have their own lineup in China that is going to continue to grow. So overall, electrified sales throughout the world are up 8%, and this will keep growing, especially with the RAV4 going fully electrified in most markets, if not all markets at this point for the RAV4. And to wrap this up, look at Lexus. Lexus just posted, I don't know if this is an all-time record because they don't communicate this, but they're up 13%. They set an all-time sales record in the USA last year, and I think it was a global sales record as well. But look at the start they're having so far in 2026. Again, up 13% overall. Inside of Japan, up 12%. Outside Japan, up 13%. North America, again, in the US of A, and probably Canada, they broke an all-time sales record last year too. So with the fact that they're up 13% it's a bit mind-numbing. Okay, if we look at Latin America, up 23%, but they only sold 391 units that essentially don't exist. In Europe, up 6%. This is the hardest market to break into right now, is Europe. Okay, for luxury manufacturers anyways. If you're a Chinese EV manufacturer, you have a great opportunity to break into Europe. Asia, 20,000 units. That is a 21%. That includes China. That is mind-blowing. Oceania down 7%. Again, we saw a big drop-off from Toyota in Australia, so we're seeing that affect Lexus as well. Middle East down 9%. I don't know why, to be honest. And then Africa, well, they only sold 125 units. Again, that's why like gray market exports from the US for used Lexus models is a huge industry into Africa because, well, they just don't have really a significant dealership model at all there. Yeah, Lexus just steamrolling straight ahead. It's hard for me to believe, but maybe they just have the right product for the right market at the right time. And it seems like most markets are soaking up Lexus at an incredibly high rate right now. Anyways, I got to shut it down. Thank you guys for watching. Again, check my link in the description for 20% off of Last Fit, bulbs and mats and other products that they have. Use promo code Kirk for that 20% off. I'll have the link in the description as well in the comments below. And I'll see you guys again in the comments. What are your top 3 automakers for reliability? Okay, assuming Toyota and Lexus are one, I would probably do Toyota. I would probably do Mazda in there too. But it's tough, right? And Honda maybe. So I'll see you guys in the comments. What are you? Put Subaru in there, maybe top 5, right? It's really tough, but Toyota no doubt is in the top 2, I would say, in reliability, regardless of who you ask. But again, it depends on the model. Always do research on that specific model that you're buying, because not all Toyotas are reliable, not all Subarus are reliable, not all Mazdas or Hondas, etc. Not all Japanese cars are reliable, not all Fords are unreliable, not all Jeeps are unreliable. Just keep that in mind. Thank you guys. Catch you in the next one. Peace out.